Have you ever caught yourself believing that your daily coffee is ruining your finances? Or that you'll only be happy when you reach a certain salary? Well, there's a series of financial myths circulating out there, some even well-intentioned, but in practice they confuse more than they help. And today, we're going to demystify all of this. Get ready to rethink concepts and permanently change your relationship with money. Myth 1. Your daily coffee is making you poor. One of the most repeated pieces of advice in the world of personal finance is, stop spending on that coffee every day and you'll get rich. But does this really make sense? Think about it with me. Will stopping spending $5 a day on coffee really change your financial life in the long run? For most people, the answer is a resounding no. According to IBGE, fixed costs such as housing, health, and education consume on average 81% of family income in Brazil. In other words, it's not the coffee that unbalances your finances, but rather decisions involving large recurring expenses. If you really want to build wealth, the path isn't in cutting small pleasures that bring a little joy to your day. The focus should be on financial decisions involving high values and monthly frequency, such as rent, health insurance, school tuition, and even the standard of living you choose to maintain. Myth 2. You need a financial advisor. Many people believe they can only invest safely if they have a financial advisor by their side. While this professional can indeed be useful at certain times, they're not essential for everyone. In practice, the true value of a financial advisor appears at specific life stages, such as retirement planning, estate succession, or wealth protection strategies. Now, if the idea of hiring an advisor is just to get better investment returns, you might be on the wrong path. That's because many advisors work tied to brokerages or banks and tend to push products that aren't necessarily the best for you, but that pay commissions to them. Unfortunately, this can lead you to expensive and poorly performing funds. Instead, with a little study and discipline, you can build a diversified, low-cost portfolio with good long-term performance yourself. Myth 3. You need to follow the market all the time. People starting out in the investment world often believe they need to follow the news, charts, indicators, and stock market ups and downs daily. But this is a myth that generates anxiety and drives people away from a consistent strategy. The most successful investors are precisely those who think long-term, maintain regularity in contributions, and don't let themselves be carried away by emotions. If you build a balanced portfolio with Treasury Direct, real estate funds, and good stocks, there's no need to monitor every movement. Diversification is your ally. If one asset falls, others can compensate. Instead of wasting time stressing about the market, invest your time in improving your career, increasing your income, and maintaining consistency in monthly contributions. Investing doesn't need to be exciting. In fact, financial success is usually boring. Invest regularly, maintain discipline, and let time do the work. Myth 4. Young people don't need to invest. If you're under 30 and believe you still have plenty of time to start investing, it's time to reconsider. Time is your greatest ally, and you can use it to your advantage right now. Let's look at a practical example. Investor A starts at age 20, investing $500 per month for 10 years. Then they stop contributing but leave the money invested earning returns. Investor B only starts at age 30, investing the same $500 per month but for 35 consecutive years. Result? Even contributing for much less time, Investor A ends up with more money than B at age 65. This is the power of compound interest in action. Therefore, the biggest mistake is thinking that investing is for older adults. In reality, the earlier you start, the less financial effort will be needed to achieve your goals. Myth 5. It's too late to start investing. Many people believe that if they're past 40, 50, or 60, the investment train has already left. This is completely wrong. Even if you have little time until retirement, there's still room to improve your financial life in the coming years or decades. The youngest age you'll be is today. The important thing is to start now. It doesn't matter if you're 45, 55, or 70 years old. The best time to plant was yesterday. The second best is today. Putting it off only makes time work against you. Start with what you have, in whatever way possible. The important thing is to break the inertia and take the first step. Myth 6. You need to reach X to do Y. This myth is treacherous. It manifests in phrases like, when I earn $5,000 per month, I'll start investing. Or, when I have a new car, I'll be happy. This is called hedonic adaptation, a psychological phenomenon where we quickly get used to changes, both good and bad. In other words, even if you achieve something you wanted so much, your happiness tends to return to the starting point after a while. You think, if I earned $10,000 per month, my life would be perfect. When you reach that level, you start wanting $15,000, and so on. The truth is that no financial amount will, by itself, guarantee lasting satisfaction. Instead of conditioning important actions on reaching specific financial goals, start with what you have. and base your life on solid values and consistent decisions. Myth 7. You need to buy a house. For a long time, buying a house was synonymous with success. But is this always the best decision? Not always. Buying a property involves high costs, fees, down payment, and reduces your flexibility. If you're in a phase of changes, rising career, growing family, evolving lifestyle, renting can be a smarter choice. The rule of thumb is, if you plan to live in the same place for more than 5 to 8 years, then it's worth considering buying. Otherwise, renting can offer freedom, practicality, and lower costs in the short and medium term. Of course, owning property in old age brings security. At 80, for example, it's not at all pleasant to have to look for another property because the owner asked for the apartment back, but this doesn't mean you need to buy a house at 30 or 40 at any cost. Do the math, plan, and only buy if it really makes sense financially and emotionally. Myth 8. Rich people live in luxury. If you think rich people are always wearing designer clothes, driving luxury cars, and attending glamorous parties, you might need to revise that image. True wealth isn't in what you display, but in what you accumulate. Many real millionaires lead modest lives, live below their means, and are discreet with their consumption habits. A luxury car might impress the neighbors, but it can also represent an expensive and unnecessary liability. Ostentation is often just a mask for financial insecurity. Meanwhile, the truly wealthy are thinking about wealth growth, consistent investments, and long-term security. Demystifying these wrong ideas is the first step to changing your relationship with money. Most popular financial advice focuses on the wrong details, and this ends up diverting your attention from what really matters. If you've made it this far, you're already ahead of most people. Now it's time to put this knowledge into practice. And if you want more content like this, take the opportunity to subscribe and follow the next videos. We're just beginning this journey toward true financial freedom. See you in the next video. Until then, tenta novamente.